but they must be situated in being to then move to that point. Y'all hear what I'm saying? It's like you got to be into that. Like when you reject moving on white supremacy, like just reject all movement towards white supremacy, minimize movements that aggrandize white supremacy, and you'll be left with actions that exalt black supremacy. That will be all that's left. To give you an example, when we was younger, we didn't have no money, we had no toys, so we got creative. Start making stuff and making our own toys because we couldn't do nothing with the white man, so we had to start building ourselves. So if we cut off participating in the white man's false world, we start to get bored. But then that boredom will turn into creativity. Then you sit still so long, you start going crazy. And then you become a genius. People don't realize that ingenuity comes from insanity. Because once your mind begins to break all the rules, y'all hear me, then you become innovative. The only difference between the geniuses that create, that are innovative, is they have no rules. If you go by all the rules of society, how do you come up with something different? You can't, because you are within all the rules. But once you become insane and lose your white mind, become inwardly sane, not as dependent on the external world for validation, then you start coming up with some deep shit. You start, wow, I see how we did it. I see how we do all those things. I see how we went over the white man. It just starts to come to you because the distractions of the material world that make you think lesser than yourself is turned off. So now you're getting inner knowledge, and it starts talking to you like, well, what if I did that? We can have that whole community in 24 hours. But if we all distracted and constantly moving on the white man's agenda, on the white man's validation, then the inner knowledge can't come to us because we're so externally distracted. But you sit still long enough, your DNA is going to start sparking. It's going to start popping out stuff for you. Literally. You will start coming up with brilliant ideas, but you got to get past boredom, though. You got to sit through boredom. You know what I'm saying? You got to sit through, you got to detox from the matrix. You got to sit through that addiction to the white supremacist world. You got to go through withdrawal symptoms. You know, when you come here, it's going to be withdrawal symptoms. I want to go to a movie. I ain't been to a movie in a long time. Withdrawal symptoms. Ain't been to a movie, hell, let me download a movie. Be just like a theater, right here, just like the white man's theater. It's an addiction and compulsion. It has to be broken like any withdrawal. But once you break it and start moving through it, you start getting creative. Start mastering stuff. Something start coming out of you that you be like, well, somebody start talking, you be like, who is that? You ain't crazy. Your higher self is starting to talk to you. You start hearing the doubt, and that higher mind starts feeding you higher information of what's possible. The doubt was telling you, you know, I don't know how long I'm going to put up with this. And when you put up with it even longer, then your higher self will say, since you're putting up with it, why don't you go ahead and put that pyramid over there? Do you hear what I'm saying? And you can use this method. Have you ever thought about doing that? Detox, turn the matrix off, turn black supremacy on. When you turn the light off, darkness spreads. You turn the white light off, darkness begins to spread. You turn off white supremacy, dark matter consciousness begins to spread. And come out. Light suppresses darkness. You follow? Turn the light off. Darkness will travel through all space. And in that darkness is all the infinite consciousness of the universe. It's where it all began. Where it all germinated. It all germinated in darkness. Photos developed in darkness. You understand what I'm saying? So we must develop in darkness. And we must go into the unknown aspects of our inner self. We can't just be satisfied with this superficial information that people getting knowledge. They're getting information. Real knowledge germinates from within. The knowing to do something that you have never done, that your inner self communicates to you to do. Give me an example. Your personality. I didn't want to go this deep in this lecture. Here we go. Your personality, you didn't learn. It came from something that you could not learn. But you know it as it's you, right? What else can you know that you did not learn? All the ancient knowledge that we had in ancient humanity, you can come and that's just as close to you and near to you as your own personality. You find it. There's certain knowledge about you that is communicated to you. You know, that you did not learn. And if someone challenged you and said, that's not you, you would argue into the doubt. Because you know that to be you. You feel me? You can argue about a lot of concepts and a lot of information, but it's things that you know to be you that will never be argued. But I'm telling you, the source of that knowledge is deeper. That can communicate stuff that we know that we did not learn in school, that we did not learn from the white man, that we did not learn from Bobby Hemming or Bill Valentine, that we did not learn from YouTube and DVD. It's some knowledge in you that if you sit long enough with yourself, it will begin to blossom. People think they go into meditation to become dumb. No, you become, to be enlightened is to be intelligent. The real light come on in you, the dark light comes on. Enlightenment is intelligence. To become enlightened is to become very intelligent. To become so aware, so conscious of everything, internally and externally. So we want to tap this intelligence because we're going to need it to make our divinity more realizable to our own people. We're going to need to tap that. So we're telling people about being and none moving and sitting still. It's in us. We're telling them right now, we're challenging them. We're challenging them to become innovative, to become creative, to go from a superficial perception of themselves that's validated by a whole bunch of reactionary activity. You see what I'm saying? It's a superficial layer of themselves. When you go down another level, there's an ingenious creative aspect of self. They got answers. Because you can't look at something and meditate on something long enough and something doesn't start occurring in you. You know what I'm saying? Something begins to come on. So that's what a temple is. It's a space where the meditation of black supremacy develops supreme ideas. Because from a black supreme being, supreme ideas must come from that entity. So people didn't come here to do anything. They came here to become something that will give birth to right doing. You hear me? They came to become something. You can act out of nervousness, fear, paranoia, uneasiness, or you can move out of meditation on your supreme self. Those are two different places to move from. The way I move out of meditation from my supreme self. It's a timing and a season and a way of moving beyond astrology that you cannot get in tarot cards. Where you just move in a timing where everything you do is perfect. You understand what I'm saying? As though you have completely mathematically engineered everything that you do. Like you wrote it out. It's so perfect. Because you're moving from a deeper level of your self-knowing. So stuff you was worried about when to do it, how to do it, or how you was going to do that, you don't even worry about the things no more. Because you know that that you're acting from a supreme place. You're acting from a state of being. As the supreme doer, you will leave nothing undone. It's impossible for you to fail in that state of mind. There's no failure in supreme black consciousness. But you got to go into it. At a superficial level, in the white man's world, you could fail. You could get fired. You fail. You society. But in your black supreme self, there's no failure. Because there's no end. You have to get the grade at the final point, right? But if there's no finality, then there's no grade. There's always an opportunity to transform all of your situations, circumstances, and experiences into victory. This is a deep level of consciousness that we got to enter into, where people got to be still and know. They got to come into a knowing of this so they can be this. Too many doers, not enough knowers. Coming to be to the first level of being, we need people to themselves. They come here and they get left to themselves. If they can't sit with that, they can't sit with this. Feel me? Keeping it real. Because we have not been able to sit with ourselves.